Hello and welcome to Narrowcast Boxing. It's June 23rd, 2019. In this episode, I'm going to review a few fights which took place this weekend. I'd like to start with Andrew Cancio versus Alberto Machado. This ended with a third round stoppage win for Andrew Cancio. It was an action fight from the opening bell, and both fighters looked pretty vulnerable. Each took a lot of flush punches. Machado looked like he got hurt from a headshot in the second round, and it was obvious even to me watching at home in the second round that he was wide open for a left hook to the liver. And sure enough, in the third round, that was the punch that ended the fight for him. Cancio looked fairly basic, but he was persistent in his attack, and he was able to get the win here. If there is a consolidation between titles, between Cancio and Gervonta Davis, I think Davis should win convincingly. I'd like to see that fight. I'd also like to see Cancio maybe fight Tevin Farmer. I've heard some rumors that that fight may take place, and that's a quality fight as well. We'll just have to wait and see what happens. Moving on, we have Guillermo versus Julio Ceja. This was a bad performance from Rigondeaux, although he did win by 8th round stoppage. In my opinion, he's really never looked worse. He was hurt multiple times, and in my opinion, his team should be ashamed of themselves for this game plan. You had a much smaller and older fighter than Julio Ceja, who fought very well, I thought, and the plan was for Rigondeaux to apparently go toe-to-toe with this guy. I have no idea what Ronnie Shields and Rigondeaux's team was thinking, but this was really disgraceful. The only justification I could see for having him fight like this is if his legs were gone. But to try and make a statement and trade punches at 38 years old is just baffling. Rigondeaux, in my opinion, should really go back to Pedro Diaz if there's any hope for him moving forward. I said last week that his time is running out and it looks to be about up. I've never seen him fight like this on the inside, and I hope I never do again. The referee, Russell Mora, was also awful the entire fight. He was way too involved in the action. There were punches which strayed low. Again, they were fighting toe-to-toe, and this tends to happen. I thought that Russell Moore really should have just relaxed and let the fight unfold. The stoppage was also very bad. Rigondeaux landed a very nice left hook, which dropped Ceja. Ceja got up with plenty of time, but the fight, bizarrely, was immediately called off. Russell Moore really didn't give Ceja a chance, and I felt Ceja was winning the fight, and it was pretty obvious that he could have continued. I believe Rigondeaux is now a mandatory challenger for a world title currently held by Ray Vargas, who I don't really rate highly, but based on this performance, I'd lean in favor of any of the champions at 122 pounds to beat Rigondeaux. Really not much more to say about this one. It was a disappointing performance. Moving on to the headliner of this card, it featured Jermell Charlo versus Jorge Cota. It was a tentative first two rounds. I would have liked to have seen Charlo be a bit more aggressive without going overboard and to work a little bit more. In the third round, he really did just that. He got inside and landed a right hook in an exchange, which dropped Cota. And the fight really should have been stopped here. Cota got up, but his legs were gone as he was weaving all over the place. The fight continued, and Charlo hit him with a straight 1-2 and knocked him unconscious. It was a brutal knockout. Not really a lot to say about this performance. It was what I expected. I imagine that we'll get to see Jermell Charlo versus Tony Harrison in the rematch next. That's one I'm looking forward to. It should be another quality fight. Anyway, that's it for this episode. I'll be doing my weekly preview for fights for this upcoming weekend here in a day or two, so keep an eye out for that. And as always, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon.